Let's just get straight into it. Merry Christmas. It's not a good film, right? So it's basically starring Vijay Sethupathi and Katrina Kaif, a very, very odd couple. Like, who on earth would have thought they both are starring in a movie, right? And yeah, I have a lot to talk about in this movie. And spoiler alert, it's not going to be all good. But you know what? Let's start with the good things, right? I've actually written notes for this movie because I watched this movie like 2 weeks ago, and it's been 2 weeks and I do not remember. So I'm very glad I made notes because my God, I remember watching this movie and I was like, wow, I wasted a whole lot of time. So let's just talk about the good things about the movie. I think it has beautiful colors and frames. Like it has great shots. I really like. Well, I wouldn't say cinematography exactly, but like I really like some scenes. I really like some shots. I think the frames are very beautiful. Some of the frames have really good color in them. Like it's a lot of pink and yellow, and really it's an explosion of colors, and I really like that. It looks very pretty. There's like a really cool mirror shot at one point where I think Katrina's pouring a drink, and I think that's a great shot. And there's like one scene which I liked in particular was like, and I'm pretty sure it was improvised or maybe it was in the script. It kind of felt improvised. It was like this dance scene where both of them are just dancing. Actually, you know what? In hindsight, it's probably not improvised, but I thought that was a funny scene, right? So it is a thriller. It's like a murder mystery movie. Again, spoilers if you haven't seen it. I'll try to keep it spoiler free, but I'm just gonna give you the gist, right? So there is a twist in it, and I'm not gonna lie, it was actually a decent twist. I was not expecting the twist, so I will give it that. It was not one of those twists where I was like, oh yeah, I see this coming. So I was genuinely taken aback when the twist did happen, and I was like, huh, okay, that's pretty good, right? The kid, there is a kid involved in this movie, and very, very cute, adorable child, by the way. Like the kid is doing such good acting. It's like such a cute kid, and I think that's it honestly is one of the pros because of this movie, because it really sells the premise of the movie. And okay, my history with Katrina Kaif and acting has not exactly been a positive one, but she's actually the highlight of this movie. I'm not going to lie, she's doing pretty decent acting, and it's really saying something when you say that she's doing it better than Vijay Sethupathi, because we'll get to that in one of the other sections of the video where I'm talking about what I didn't like about the movie. But yeah, I'm really proud of Katrina. I feel like she's come a long way, especially if you look at some of her earlier movies. Maybe we were just too harsh, right? But she's definitely improved. I think her acting was great. She has a bit of range in this film as well. It's not the best, or it's not what you would consider, oh yeah, good acting, but you know what? Just as a personal Katrina Kaif thing, I think she's doing a pretty good job. Now we can talk about all the things I didn't like about this movie. It's a slow burn, number one. Now, I don't have a problem with slow burns. In fact, I think slow burn movies can be one of the best movies ever, as long as the slow burn feels like it needs to be a slow burn. This movie does not do that. It really doesn't feel that the slow burn is that necessary or exciting. Like, it really, really doesn't, And yeah, it just takes really long for things to pick up, and it's not even interesting while it takes really long. It's not even exciting while it takes really long, and it's it's just it's not fun. Honestly, this movie would have probably been nice if you cut out an hour from it. But yeah, it really, really takes its time. Number two, Vijay Sethupathi is doing a horrible job at acting in this movie. What is happening? He is so unexpressive for some reason. And I don't know, maybe it's the character that is bland. It's not the character, right? It's just him. Like, it feels like one of those movies where he's just like, yeah, I'm getting paid for this, so might as well. And it's just very, like, there's some things that happen later on. Again, it's a murder mystery, so you can guess a lot of things happen. But yes, his expressions are just not it, and he's just so emotionless half the time. And like, again, bouncing off the point I said earlier, Katrina Kaif is the highlight of this movie. How the hell are you? I mean, no offense to Katrina, but I think Vijay Sethupathi is a good actor, right? But this movie is not one of them. Holy shit, right? It's really not. And so, okay, this is like big spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie at this point, just skip ahead. I won't tell the timestamps, but these are big spoilers. But so the one who gets murdered is the husband, and like, if you know the twist, right? Basically, the husband gets killed, but they really should have revealed more of why the husband was evil and why he had to die. All they kind of said was like, oh, he was into drugs and he's the reason the child lost her voice. And it's just like, you can assume things, the imagination is the most horrifying thing and all that. But I don't know, in this movie, it just felt like, okay, so why are you killing the husband again? Because again, the slow burn and everything takes so long to build up. But they don't really give you enough context of why the husband is like that evil. Like they just say, oh, he's a druggie, and we assume that he did horrible things to the child. But again, that's just assumption, you know what I mean? And that works, but not in this case. It really doesn't. And you're just like, oh, so she ended up killing the husband. Cool. And yeah, again, that was a big spoiler section. So if you reach this point and you haven't watched the movie, well, that's basically the twist. But the movie feels very haphazard, and like when things eventually go from with more slow burns, it's a slow burn until it isn't, right? But the transition from calm to chaos is not seamless in this movie at all. Like it just goes and it eventually jumps into high gear, and it just feels so weird. The last third of the movie feels lifeless. And like even though the twist is decent, it doesn't feel that significant. I don't know. Okay, this movie, and this is gonna be a very weird take, right? This is one of those movies where if it was set in Hollywood, it would work. But for some reason, the Indian setting just doesn't work for this movie. It just feels too fake. I don't know whether it's like old Bombay. I don't know. Right? Something about this movie just made me feel like, if you put some white people in this, maybe I would enjoy it. But like because it's Indian, it feels like it doesn't hit with the Indian setting. It just feels weird. And the ending is bad as usual. I'm so fed up of movies having bad endings at this point. But it is what it is. It was a whole lot of nonsense happening at the end just for the movie to wrap up. And I was just like, God, like the movie ended and I just sat there and I thought, I really don't like this movie. And the more I thought about it, the more angry I got. I was like, man, I really don't like this movie. And yeah, the movie's called Merry Christmas. I don't know if I mentioned that. I hope I did. But yeah, it's a movie, alright. It's one of the movies ever made. It's there in Katrina, Kaif and Vijay Sethupathi's catalog, so that's there. But yeah, it's not a good movie. It's not a bad movie either, but like it's not fun to watch. Here's the thing: if it's not fun, okay, my logic is simple. If a movie is bad, like in terms of actually critically analyzing a movie, it should be fun to watch. And for me, fun comes before actually critical thinking, right? If this movie is not fun, so you're just left with a decent movie, but except it's not fun, so it's just decent, it's just mid. And I would say it's worse than mid because it just doesn't hit the notes it kind of sets up. And yeah, I think this is an alright movie. Maybe I would give it like a 4 or a 3. I would not want to rewatch this ever. Just another movie, I guess, yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the movie if you did watch it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.